And I am making a triumphant return to Slayer during the bonus XP weekend, no less. It is a humongous fletching XP waste, but oh well, you know, you gotta have fun during this game, and Slayer is fun. Fletching, maybe not so much. So this is gonna be our first task of the video after this last automaton decides to die. 2008 tasks in a row, that was a good year. And 20 points. Let's go ahead and return to our Slayer Master. Unfortunately, I don't have a comp cape, so no longer can I teleport directly to the max guild for the bank and GE. Kind of sad, but I guess I could just buy a max cape, but I'm trying to resist that as long as possible because I think the 120 summoning cape looks a lot cooler. Kind of matches the outfit a little bit as well. Unfortunately, the 120 Slayer cape is not going to match the gilded, so I might have to get something else to go with that. I stand at Morvran. My fate of the next 30 to 60 minutes is behind the click of this button. Abyssal Demons. Alright, fair enough. That's a pretty good task. Of course, that was way over dramatic, but whatever. You gotta have fun with it sometimes. So I'm going to go ahead and do my Abyssal Demon task. One of my favorites, so I'm really happy about that. I like that task so much, I might even choose to use my Abyssal Helm on it to get another one afterwards. But anyway, I'll see you guys on the other end of that task. Okay, so I did spend quite a bit of time streaming Slayer today, and of course I didn't record the tasks that I was streaming because I was streaming them. But I do have Dark Beast, and I just finished off that task. 2013 tasks in a row. And I got a pair of Brawlers as well during this task, but unfortunately, they were range Brawlers, which are debatably the worst brawling gloves. Probably the worst. I think even melee or magic would be a little bit better than range. At least I'd prefer those two XPs over range, but we got 760k from that, and probably about double that price check from the rune items that were crushed by the Spring Cleaner, as well as the coin drops. And unfortunately, I still don't have my comp cape back because of the new quest and because of the new elf tasks that are coming out in a couple days. So there's not much point in doing the quest if I'm just going to lose the cape again in a day or two. So I have to wear the max cape of shame. I don't think it looks very good. No, Morvran, stop trying to give me your challenge, dude. I would really rather not have it. And I think you need to say no thanks. And 152 Muspah, I will again say no thanks to that one because that's one of my least favorite tasks. Even though it is very good XP, I would not recommend for you personally to cancel it. And we're going to go with Abbey Demons instead, which is one of my favorite tasks. And I will also be using the new enhanced ectoplasmator on this task, and I'll kind of talk a little bit about that once we're nearly done with the Abbey Demons and show you guys how it works. So the Abbey Demon task has been wrapped up. 2014 tasks in a row, which is the year right now, I believe. At least it will be for like another month. Anyway, I told you guys I'd tell you about how the Attuned ectoplasmator will work. And what you have to do to get this thing is you have to get an ectoplasmator and then use 100 ghostly essence on it. And you can buy this stuff off the GE or get it as rare drops from pretty much any creature that is classified as a ghost in the game. And then every single ghostly essence that you use on this thing grants you 10 charges. These charges will give you double the XP that you would get from scattering ashes. You just keep it in your inventory, which is more XP than you'd get for using infernal urns. And it clears up your inventory so you don't have to have the infernal urns in there, which is quite nice. So basically all that you have to do is just kill the Abbey Demons with it, and I'll just kill one Abbey Demon for you here, and you will see that I will gain prayer XP after killing it, and there will be no ash on the ground, which is really, really nice. So basically just a bone crusher for infernal ashes. 187 prayer XP for doing that, and I don't believe that this works with the bonus XP weekend, so it is a flat 187 prayer, although I do have doubled prayer XP, so it's probably half of that in all honesty. And also you can use a demon horn necklace with it and it will restore your prayer, which is really, really nice. So I'd highly recommend to pick one of these up if you haven't already. Okay, Morvran, what's it gonna be? I wouldn't actually mind Abbey Demons again, that'd be pretty sweet. Greater Demons, that is not the type of demons that I wanted to be killing. You know, I could kill Nechryael, I guess. Screw it, let's go for it. I really, really don't want to kill Nechryael, but I will try out magic versus Nechryael. Some people were saying that you take a lot less damage using magic there, so I'll try that out and see if that theory happens to be correct. And I'll also use this attuned ectoplasmator there, and hopefully that will restore my prayer a little bit more, so the prayer drain isn't as much of a problem. Oh, Ward of Subjugation, but hey, I got an effigy too. How about that? So, disappointment, huge gains. Kind of evens each other out. So the arena is now ended. I'm actually just going to teleport out and, well, I gotta go to bed. I'm not really sure whether I'll finish this task or not. I'll make that decision when I wake up in the morning. That's just my dog in the background. So anyway, what is my overall opinion of how this all works? Well, so far, Mage Zammy, I can tell that I didn't really use any food. I ate a couple sharks just to you know, pick stuff up off the ground, but it wasn't really required. I think there's one situation where I had to eat one shark to stay alive. I was using the Scrimshaw, or the Vampirism Aura, that is, so that was a thing. But other than that, along with the Attuned ectoplasmator, I only needed one shark the entire time, and I did not need any prayer whatsoever with the altar combined with the prayer that you get from this and this. So if you have tier 90 mage, just wearing subjugation armor, and wow, I was wearing Mauritania legs 4. Maybe it would have helped a bit if I wasn't wearing those, but yeah, you know, it worked out really well using tier 90 mage Zami, and I'll definitely be doing this in the future, and probably liking this task a lot more now that I can like do the entire task in one trip. The morning time has now come, and I ended up just canceling the rest of the Zami task because I found out when I woke up that I only had like 60 greater demons left to go, which I didn't really want to go get kill count and then waste a whole bunch of time in that instance, because, you know, 60 greater demons, you can do that in like 20 minutes at Zami, so it would get over really quickly. But anyway, I did do a task of Celestial Dragons, and it went fairly well, got some really good XP. I finally managed to make myself use a Bone Crusher. Dragon Bones are cheap now to the point where I feel comfortable doing that, but I forgot my Dragon Rider necklace, so I didn't get nearly as much XP as I could have from the Dragon Bones, which was a huge fail, but I didn't realize that till the very end. Anyway, we're going to nab a new task here from Morvaran. That Celestial Dragons task was just completely amazing XP. It was like nearly 2k Slayer per dragon. So the next one is going to be Iron Dragons. This is another task that I do want on my block list, but I don't think I've had it up to this point, just because it's really not great Slayer XP per hour. We're going to get Water Fiends instead, which I'm not sure how I feel about that one. I'm going to go ahead and cancel Water Fiends here. I love Water Fiends. It's one of my favorite tasks, but the problem with it is it's still the bonus XP weekend, and I tried doing a Water Fiends task yesterday. It's nearly impossible to find a world. Steel Dragons works though. We'll go ahead and do that one. Yeah, I would normally do Water Fiends. I would normally never even consider canceling that task, but I also don't want to hop like 30 times and then finally find an empty world and then get crashed within 5 minutes, because that's kind of the state of Water Fiends yesterday, so I figure it's probably similar to that today as well. Well, I'm done with that task, and I got 3 pairs of dragon lower halves, I guess, 2 plate skirts and 1 plate legs. And funny thing, I got this on like the second to last and the third to last kill of the task. I got these 2 back to back. Kind of funny, they're only worth like 150k, but it's kind of weird how I got 3 of them in a task. And there's only like 53 steel dragons too, which is close to the minimum that you could get from Morvaran. It's kind of crazy. I set myself that goal to go for 120 prayer, and just in the last 24 hours, well, 20 hours really of Slayer, I've gained over 200k prayer, completely free. Well, I guess I spent a little bit on the Ghostly Essence from Slayer, so it's kind of crazy. And Black Demons, that is actually a really good prayer XP task with this Ghostly Essence stuff, but it is, you know, still pretty early in the morning, so before I do that, I'm going to go make myself some eggs. I would recommend that you guys do it too. Eggs are good for you, very power food, and you feel great after eating them. They're one of my favorite things to eat for breakfast. But after I've done that, I will come back and kill 244 Black Demons. I was kind of hoping for those because I did want to try out the advanced ectoplasmator there and see how good of prayer XP this is. I gotta say, doing this Black Demon task with Steel Titan and Dark Light, and also with the Demon Horn necklace, as well as the Attuned ectoplasmator, so you can have unlimited prayer, it is just complete destruction. I one-hit a couple of these Black Demons while Zerked, like the Sever ability pretty much one-hits them. It's just insane how much damage you can do. So 100 Crimson Charms, pretty decent task, and it was really, really good XP because I was just killing them so fast. I had to kill them in Lit's location because for some reason there's like 500 million people at Black Demons in Taverley. Not really sure why, because it's the bonus XP weekend and they're not amazing XP, but whatever people want to do. I'm going to take a break and do some mining for a little bit while working on a video, but before I do that, I'm going to pick up another task for later today, and that's going to be Muspahs. And I am actually going to do these because these are one of the best Slayer XP rates in the game, and it will still be the bonus XP weekend, but on a normal day I wouldn't do them just because I hate the task, but you got to take advantage of the XP while it's doubled. Might as well, I guess, because it's a lot better than almost every single other Slayer task in terms of XP. So I figured out that I actually might like Muspahs a little bit again, because one of my friends just told me, you know, take off the Shard of Zeros, just try it and see what you think, and it's actually really AFK, so I quite enjoyed that task quite a bit. I was able to work on some other stuff while doing my Muspahs task. Pretty much all I did is I looked back at the screen like every minute or two and pressed the sunshine button, and that was about it, and the task went really, really well. And I almost died there, like getting out, but anyway, I pretty much just picked up like the dragon stuff and didn't worry about the rest. I just left the Muspah spines on the ground. What's up, Morvaran? Me old buddy. Let's get a good task here. Glacors would be kind of amazing if I could nab one of those. Or Celestial Dragons. That works as well somewhat. somewhat AFK, not really AFK, but the cool thing about these is this should put me up to 95 mil Slayer, which is a pretty huge milestone. Unfortunately, I didn't do nearly as much Slayer as I should have during the bonus XP weekend, and therefore my crystal tree has grown, so I'll grab that really quickly. But I could have gotten up to like 96, 97 mil Slayer if I really went for it, but I ended up doing like smithing instead, and I got 20 mil smithing, which is pretty sick because I went from like 16 to 20 mil smithing yesterday. But oh well, you know, I was just doing random stuff, so hopefully I'll get that 95 mil Slayer done after this task. Oh mate, that was some pretty fantastic Slayer XP, I must say, and I actually did use a Steel Titan during this task. I promise that happened. I have my Steel Titan scrolls there, just disappeared a couple minutes. I could have easily done this task in under 60 minutes, but unfortunately I DC'd in the middle for a really long time, and then I went away from my computer. When I came back, my character was still logged in, so I lost like a couple minutes doing that. Oh well, I feel kind of bad now, but it was a long task either way, but some very solid Slayer XP, and now I'm at 95, nearly 95.1 mil, so we are getting there, getting very close to the not 200 mil, but the 120. Okay, Morvran, what's up? Abby Demons would be nice. Or TDs. Alright, fair enough. TDs are a task, but not one of my favorite ones recently, at least, because they're not AFK and kind of a pain to kill because you have to like gear up and then run a really long way to get to them. But you know, it's not too bad when you actually get there and start killing them. Okay, I'm almost done with this task. I just gotta finish off this last little fella right here. Shouldn't take too long, hopefully. Oh no, a whole bunch of them are on me. I'm just bad at getting all the tormented demons trapped sometimes, and like making sure all the spawns are correct so I don't get completely owned. And sometimes I'm just like, whatever, I have a yak full of sharks, it doesn't really matter all that much anyway, right? Because I'm not here for too long. Anyway, all done with the TD's task. Didn't get anything too special. Got a decent amount of charms and XP, I guess. Kinda glad it's over though, admittedly. I finally remembered that it might actually be a good idea to wear this helm if I want an Abyssal Demons task to happen, so let's go ahead and grab one of those. One of my favorite tasks in the game, not 293 of them. I wish it was 923 of them, to be completely honest, but, you know, we'll see how it goes. This task is just so awesome. Amazing XP, it's over 200k an hour, at least the way I'm doing it with Tier Humanity Mage and Steel Titan, and it's a little bit AFK as well, so it's one of the best tasks out there. Man, that was such a good task. I also got myself an Abbey Whip, which is, I guess, somewhat refreshing. Got a drop from Abyssal Demons. It had been a while. But anyway, I'm going to go ahead and work on an Abyssal Demons guide. I'm going to go ahead and start that in just a second, but first we'll grab ourselves a new task. Don't worry, I didn't forget to cash in this contract, because I will be back to the Slayer Tower soon, so I'm not too worried about it. And I'm also just realizing that, yuck, Nox Staff is out. I need to switch in my override for that. Okay, that is much better. Now let's go ahead and grab a task from Morvran. If you gave me Abbey Demons again, that would be hype. Ice Strike Worms. Oh, son. You know what? We're going to cancel those. Not a very fun task to do because there's just way too much clicking on stuff required within that one, but Nechryael's very, very good replacement task, even though, unfortunately, the Slayer Tower does not have nearly as many spawns as I would like it to have with the Nechryael's tasks. They're kind of spread out a little bit. Still, really good XP overall, and I can use my amazing Attuned ectoplasmator on this task, which I'm just in love with this thing. It is crazy good. I decided I was going to go ahead and try to melee Nechryaels. It went okay. It wasn't really the best. It's definitely a little bit faster to range them because the spawns are just too spread out, and it takes a really long time running in between if you melee. Also, for whatever reason, I was only getting 62 XP per Ash during this task with the Attuned Ectoplasmator, and it's supposed to give double. Like, if you look on the wiki, it does say it gives double prayer experience for Ashes, so I'm really not sure what that's all about. Maybe it was nerfed in the update earlier today, although it didn't say that it was in the patch notes as far as I can remember. In all honesty, though, if the Attuned Ectoplasmator is nerfed and it doesn't give double XP for Ashes anymore, they should make it free, because it doesn't make sense how the Bone Crusher is free to use, at least in terms of GP, and yet the Attuned Ectoplasmator, which is used against lesser things than like Dragon Bones and Frost Bones, which you can use the Bone Crusher on, would be actually kind of expensive to use, so that kind of sucks. But Automatons is the next task. We'll go ahead and do that one, and hopefully get my second pair of gloves. Still waiting on that. Really, dude? Another crest spot. That's 3 crest spots in a row since my last pair of gloves, but whatever. You know, that's my 4th crest spot for my house. I guess that's noteworthy to some extent. Kind of cool to have 4 crest spots in your house, but just continuing the crest spot collection. And done with this task, and I'm gonna put this crest spot in my house because why not? But other than that, oh wait, hold up, it's time to price check. I forget like 95% of tasks, but 784k for 90 automatons. really not that great, but I got the cool crest spot, and that's about really the only good thing we can go away from this task, other than some decent Slayer XP as well. Also, Binding of Isaac Rebirth is coming out tomorrow, so I'm pretty hyped for that. Muspah! Hey, with the new method of killing them, where it's AFK, that's actually not a bad task. Let's see how many Corm Seeds this is. 27 Corm Seeds. Dude, why would you drop that? Oh, that's amazing. And all this free gold ore, too. Sick. Okay, I thought that task went relatively well, and I got myself another pair of Brawling Gloves, although unfortunately it is Thieving Brawling Gloves, which really aren't great, because as far as I know, at least the best place to use the Thieving Brawlers is at the Dwarf Traders. So I'm going to have to go to World 48 and use them, and I think I have like 2 more pairs of Thieving Brawlers as well, and they don't last very long, but oh well, it's a little bit of extra Thieving XP, so I'll go ahead and take advantage of that sometime when I'm not slaying. It's Slayerscape time. How about Abbey Demons? Black Dragons. Well, I'm not going to kill QBD, but I am still going to do this task at the regular Black Dragons. Unfortunately, I can't do QBD anymore, even with the recent update that allows you to use the Dragonbane arrows, which with the Noxious Longbow, which is pretty cool and may prove useful in the future, but it's just, the Slayer XP there is too poor that I can't really justify doing that when I'm really grinding for 120 right now. Unfortunately, the audio part of my last clip got cut out. I finished the Black Dragons task, and I was pretty much just saying, man, this task isn't that great in terms of XP or drops. It's just kind of okay. Obviously not killing the QBD, but killing regular Black Dragons. Anyway, the audio got lost, so we did this one instead, Abbey Demons, and task went okay. I mean, it's an Abbey Demon task. What else do you want from me? But 2 Abbey Whips and a Triskelion Fragment 1. So this is starting off on my 6th Triskelion key, which is in my bank too, which is pretty hype. I think Dark Beast would be a pretty sick task right now, and pretty much anything other than like Abbey Demons, none of them, no TDs, because I've done a lot of those today. Arets, that's borderline not a task I want to do, but it's amazing XP. I'm almost considering trying out a Bone Crusher there, but I'm not going to, because the Aret bones are still like 7.2k each, and well, I am not known as being cheap for no reason, but I will definitely do that Aret task, and it's great XP regardless of whether you're banking the bones or not. So I just kind of got a drop here at Kalgerion Demons, Uncut Onyx. It's like a mil, I think. They're around Alc price at the moment. A little bit above Alc price, I think. Alc price is 1 mil and 80k. Anyway, I'm going to cancel this task because it's kind of horrible. I ended off the stream last night with doing some Slayer, and I ended off with Kalgerion Demons. I was like, oh, come on, son. So, even though this can be a really good XP task, it's, oh my goodness. It's just horrible. You have terrible accuracy with melee, like half of your hits just splash, and it's not good with melee. It's definitely better to do with mage, but even with mage, it's a very, very long and annoying task. So I'm just going to go ahead and cancel it, hopefully get something better. Alright, we're going to need some luck here. I, of course, could take out like my Abbey or Dark Beast helm and get a decent task, but Dagonos, interesting proposition, killing some DKs. I'm not going to do that because it's not amazing Slayer XP, and that's kind of what I'm after right now. Mutated Jadinkos is fine, you know, we'll go with that. Definitely not one of the more interesting tasks in the game, but Mutated Jadinkos is fine. I'll go with it. You know, it's something you can get done really quickly, and Steel Titan just completely destroys there, so that's always a help to have. One nice thing about these Mutated Jadinkos is it is a pretty fast task. You're not going to be here for very long, so that's always a nice thing about it. I think I got the task done in like 20-ish minutes. Really wasn't the longest. And let's go ahead and get a new one. Decent XP, I guess, and you know the money here is terrible, but what can you do? It's fairly decent as long as you use either mage or range, and then use multi-target stuff like ricochet or chain, obviously, for magic. Alright, man, I'm kind of feeling an Aret's task. Not necessarily like I want one, I just think that's what we're gonna get. Or Muspah, hey, you know, a task I've recently rediscovered that's really great, and I'm completely happy with that one. So 177 of them, that's a decent amount. It's going to take a while. It's like probably a solid 25 minutes, half an hour of, you know, some pretty AFK Slayer, so you got to be down with that. Okay, I'm done with Muspahs, but the struggle with this task is to get out of here without dying, because you still get hit while you're descending this ledge here, so sometimes you can't actually die just descending it. That's happened to me once or twice. And this task can be a little bit sketchy sometimes when you don't have Vampirism active like I did in this time. Like, look at this. Take a lot of damage there. Luckily, only 2 out of the 3 Muspahs were spawned and they didn't hit too hard, but I've climbed down that ledge sometimes and I'm at like 150 health. Well, maybe that's a bit of an exaggeration, but like, you know, 1k or 2k health, and you're like, whoa, whoa, I'm not trying to die here. But anyway, still a good task, and still pretty awesome. Speaking of good tasks, let's pick up another one at Morvaran here. Let's go with Dark Beast would be cool. Nihil's is, you know, kind of in that range of coolness, but anyway, that's going to be about all for this video. It's time for me to focus on my Iron Man because I got to get another episode of that out, man. And I haven't even started it, so we'll see how that goes. But yeah, it's time to focus on that. Although, you know, we have been getting really good in the Slayer. I'm up to 96 mil Slayer XP, just past this last task. So that means I only have, well, a little bit over 8 mil Slayer XP to go, which is very doable in, you know, a week and a half or so, depending on how much I actually end up playing on this account and slaying versus working on the Iron Man, which remains to be seen. But anyway, thank you guys for watching the episode. Hopefully I'll have another one of these episodes out within the next 4 or 5 days. I'm not sure how long it will take to get it out, considering just Iron Man and all that, and streaming makes it difficult to record sometimes, but I'll try my best. So I'll see you guys then. Thanks for watching, and farewell.